Hello, beautiful souls. I'm jumping in here because the energy felt alive and I wanted to share the aliveness. So I am intending to jump in here once a week and to share what's alive in the moment and just pop up and share the piece and make it like maximum 10 minutes. So let me look at my time. I can do this. I'm going to keep it punchy and just keep it to 10 minutes so that it's really palatable and people watch it. So how do I create more impact? So whether you are on a mission, whether you know that you're a mission soul and you're here to make a huge impact in this lifetime, and you're doing it through the form of products or services that are designed to elevate humanity. It might be healing, coaching or facilitating in some way, health services, that type of thing. It's more obvious what that impact can be. I think sometimes we underestimate the impact, the opportunity for impact in every single moment. So if I didn't do anything else other than tend to my family in the form of being a homemaker, the potential for my impact is enormous. And I extend that impact by sharing what I have to share in these forums, in these groups, and I have programs, and I do live events, and I do pop-up trainings. And so my desire for impact is huge. And I also desire to create impact in every experience, in every encounter that I have in my life. And so when I take my children to school and the people that I connect with on that journey, and so I have now fully embodied my mission, which is to create an impact in everything that I do. And so what that did was it shifted my focus from me-centric or others-centric, like I had to create change for others and heal others, to mission-centric. Like I looked yesterday, 2 days ago, I looked at my natal chart again because I was talking with a friend through stories about Venus and our moon and sun and things, and what planets and what house and things they're in. We were talking about natal charts. And I hadn't looked at my natal chart for 10 or 15 years. And 10 or 15 years ago, when it was reflected to me, I was so far from what they were saying was my path that I was like, oh yeah, I can kind of see that. And it was all internal, but I wasn't living it in my life. I wasn't living the experience of what was being shared with me. And 2 days ago, I looked at my natal chart and it actually blew my mind. It was all like, this is my blueprint. I was destined for this experience. And the best thing for someone who's a high achiever and who's, has the experience of wanting to make the world a better place and always looking forward about the next thing that they can do to expand, to transform, to heal, to up level, the very best thing you can do is celebrate yourself and self-recognize. And so the self-recognition of the past 10 or 15 years and the journey that I've taken, that I've just diligently put one foot in front of the other and just stayed focused on the vision over that period of time. And it is all cumulative. It is all cumulative. And so the thing that inspired this live is that this morning, like I was having conversations with my clients, with my VIP clients over the past couple of weeks, and there's a very similar theme across the board. They are all very confident with their ability to facilitate a webinar. They can share a training. They can, they're happy to do a big group public speaking process and process the entire thing. And so they perceive that as, my ability to do that, should translate to having more impacting and getting more clients into your field. But the thing is, what has shifted is that now we're all very aware of the positioning of authority. And so when we're in that teaching or facilitation role, we are actually positioning ourselves as an authority or an expert. And so we're just not perceived as equal in those moments. We're not at a round table having a conversation, having a consultative and collaborative conversation. We're in the role of a facilitator. And so we're naturally positioned as an authority. And so there's a shift in the way people are making decisions about who they work with and what they do, because in that kind of dynamic with doing the webinars or facilitating big groups, is that there's not a lot of intimacy in those experiences. And what is kind of translating is that, maybe people aren't booking the calls, they're not buying the program, they're not doing the thing from the webinar. What they're doing is they're making the decisions to book calls and come into programs and take next steps at other times. And those other times are the times in which we're sharing our authentic self and sharing our heart. And there's a level of intimacy that happens when we do that. So when I'm very clear, hi Tegan, when we're very clear on who we are and we've done the work to acknowledge that the shame shit shows that happen, exist for all of us, and that by allowing ourselves to be seen in that experience, allowing ourselves to be real and raw and being honest and truthful and open, it invites people in to our field. And it has them feel a sense of trust and knowing and relatability, like, yes, she really gets it and she's a real person, and and I don't have to be afraid of showing my authenticity and showing my flaws with someone who can hold me, and they're willing to do that too. And so all of my calls and all of my lead generation comes from my pop-up trainings and my posts that I do and my interactions with the real world. Do you know how many people I have been in shops? My son said to me, do you ever go shopping? Because he doesn't come shopping with me all the time. But he said, like, do you ever go to the shops and not give someone your Facebook handle or your Instagram handle? Like, he asked me that question. Because every opportunity, it's not to sell, it's to make an impact. My desire is to make an impact. So I am naturally, and for somebody who's been introverted and socially awkward and had massive social anxiety, this is huge for me. But it's the embodiment of my confidence and my message that I'm mission centric. I know what I'm here to do, and it's to be in connection with others, to share the wisdom pieces that I have and receive the beautiful experience of the exchange that happens when I'm in that experience. I receive so much in the exchanges. I expand and transform through the exchanges of working with people and sharing with people. And so all of my lead generation comes that way. And we do the webinars to share to position ourselves as an authority or an expert in that field, so that people go, yeah, she has something to share. There's something to receive from there. And the way in which we make the most impact is that we connect with our heart consciousness. We're in our own heart. It's a bit windy. in our own heart consciousness, and then we invite people into that. And when we invite people into that, they also have the experience of being more in their body and in their heart consciousness. So for the divine clients who I've had over the last couple of weeks that have shared with me, you know, I'm struggling to attract my most ideal client, or I do, and then they don't show up to the webinar, or they don't come into my offers. And that's because there's still a gap with the level of intimacy, the level of connection that they feel. And the bridge to that is the gap, to bridge the gap is to develop intimacy through intimacy with yourself and intimacy with others. And so if you would like support with that, just reach out to me and we can have a conversation. So let me know below this video what landed for you, what questions you have, what came up for you, and I'm going to pop in once a week and just share what's alive. And I love seeing all the celebrations. What I'm celebrating is the aliveness that I feel today. Have a beautiful Thursday.